Hey, hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And I'm sorry I'm so late tonight. I was literally making candles all day. If you guys go to my candle channel, you'll see like I posted a short on there. I take candy, just so many fucking candles today. I've literally been at it since 1 o'clock this afternoon. So I'm a bit beat. But in the process, I didn't hear what went on, but a little while ago, one of my Patreons had sent me a picture of a short. I don't know who did the short, where it came from, but it's definitely a legit lawsuit. But there are some things that just don't make sense. Hey, Rose, I'm sorry. There are some things that just don't make sense on Betty's end that kind of eliminate things that I said last time. And then I found an attorney who basically confirmed that I was right in the first place. And I think everybody's got this whole fucking thing convoluted and twisted. And in my personal opinion, I think Betty's kind of all over the place. And everything will make sense once I explain. But before we even get into that, while I was looking for something, I happened to find something on something about Facebook, which came out yesterday, some news article about a guy that sued Facebook. Really interesting. So I wanted to play that first because I don't know how many of you guys use Facebook or use it as, like a scrapbook, picture book like I do, like all my kids' stuff from when they were young are all on Facebook. Biggest moments of their life are all on Facebook from the time they were little until now. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. So it's only about 10 minutes, but for anyone that uses Facebook or Instagram, it's definitely worth a watch. Hang on. It's out of Atlanta.
On Facebook, right? Baby pictures, school awards, old friend connections. But what if they were suddenly gone and you couldn't get them back? Well, Fox 5 team's Dana Fowle met a Georgia man who sued the tech giant over just that, and he won.
He did.
Wow.
I mean, yes, he was unceremoniously banned from Facebook. He couldn't log on, said he only got this quick pop-up that lasted a second maybe that said he had violated child exploitation rules. Naturally, he wanted that fixed immediately, but finding a human to talk to was impossible. So he took him to court. Columbus, Georgia, known for its river sports and southern charm. But one morning last August, Jason Crawford got a little fired up.
I woke up one Sunday morning and I tapped on my Facebook icon and I was locked out.
He says his Facebook account had been suspended before over his fiery take on politics, but this, he said, was different.
Made it clear that I was banned.
When he would try to log on, he says a very brief message would appear, then quickly disappear. And he said it was not only untrue, but alarming.
It just gave me the briefest, little snapshot of saying that I had violated their standards on child sexual exploitation. And then it went away.
He wanted an explanation, so he tried to find someone at Facebook to talk to him to find out what in the world was going on.
And so what I learned is that the way that you submit your appeal or whatever is through your own profile, your own account. Well, if you don't have an account, you've got no way of submitting it. So it's like a dog chasing its tail.
Facebook is owned by Meta, and it also runs Instagram and WhatsApp. Meta employs more than 80,000 people. Certainly, the West Coast tech giant would have someone who would talk to him. But nope, he got nowhere.
I just think it's bad business practice. I just think it's a crappy way to treat people. At least tell me what I did wrong.
But Mr. Crawford had a hand he could play. You see, he's a lawyer, so he walked downtown to the nearby courthouse and sued Meta. The August 2022 complaint calls Facebook negligent for no longer allowing him access to his account based on a violation that he says did not occur.
In terms of pictures, videos, posts that come up as memories that I like to look at from time to time, all that kind of stuff that I just wasn't willing to let a bunch of bullies take away from me, for no reason.
Then he waited for a call, someone to clear up this false allegation and give him his account back, but nothing happened.
As if I didn't exist and as if Facebook was operated by a bunch of ghosts or something.
But Facebook's legal team not only ignored him, but also the lawsuit. The company didn't even bother responding to it. So by default, Jason Crawford, a Columbus, Georgia lawyer, won. A judge ordered that Meta pay him $50,000. That's when they called.
I felt a little bit vindicated, and so they immediately activated my account again. I just expected some person to call me up and say, "Hey, what's going on? What do we need to do about it?"
Would that have been the end of it?
Yeah.
Had that happened?
Oh, absolutely.
Jason Crawford is back online. He says he was told by a Facebook attorney that his account had been hacked. His name was cleared, but it's still not over. He claims Facebook is not paying the judgment.
It feels like a poke in the eye. It's time that they at least respect our legal system.
So he's still fighting, and he says he will get that $50,000 the court says he's owed because Facebook terminated his account for no valid reason. The Fox 5i team reached out to a Facebook attorney but got no comment. As for Jason Crawford, he says he's owed the money for being ignored.
How crazy is that? This just came out yesterday, but how crazy is that? Like, that's scary that Facebook will just crush your account. You can't get a hold of anyone and you could lose everything on Facebook. That's kind of scary. So that's why I want to show you guys that. Now, that dude, as far as your comment goes, who really gives a shit? A lot of people should give a shit because it could set a precedence to creators who think that they could say whatever the fuck they want about people whenever they want. I mean, really, to make this go away, just shut the fuck up about people. I mean, that's really the bottom line. So a lot of people do care, especially coming from somebody that talks about everybody else's business and runs around calling someone a kitty diddler when they're not. There's a lot of things that make it matter. I know it is scary they could take your account at any time. All your pictures. I mean, bad enough YouTube can do with videos. But I didn't even realize that with Facebook, that you can't get a hold of anyone. Because if they take your account, how are you going to contact anyone? But I find it really interesting. They completely ignored him. Hey, beautiful. Happy birthday. That they completely ignored him. That's kind of wild. Like, I don't know why they totally ignored him. That's fucked up. So, like I said, I just thought that was really interesting and worth the watch. So, let me open you guys up on YouTube so I can actually see you. So I can see everybody, I mean. Hold on. All right. Can you guys hit the likes? I only have 24 likes. Come on now. I deserve more likes than 24. Jeez. I did not hear about the active shooter right now. Where is there an active shooter? No, the girl on the news had a good idea. She said she was going to do each year like a scrapbook. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, but like I do Instagram, I do Facebook. I'm like, wow, that's kind of paranoid. And the guy got hacked, and that's where it all came from. No, I did not hear about it. Arlington, Virginia? Let's see. Dolly lives in Virginia. Dolly went out tonight. Is Dolly an active shooter? First time Dolly's not on YouTube at night and there's an active shooter? Hey now. All right. Keep me up to date on it. So let's talk about this lawsuit. I did not realize, I guess at first, that Betty was going for like $100,000. She's never going to get $100,000. That's absolutely ridiculous. So that's either her complete narcissism getting to her, or she's trying to make a point. I understand you always, like, in a lawsuit, you always aim high, but it has to be logical. And what I found interesting, though, about Betty, I pulled some numbers of people that make videos. All right. I look like a fucking angel. Let me tell you, I literally look like a damn angel. People think I have so much hate. Oh, no. All right. We'll start with Molly. Molly has 4.7 thousand videos made about her from 425 channels. Betty, now Molly's been around for like 6 years already. Betty has been around 2 years. Betty has 2.9 thousand videos made about her from 253 channels from 2 years. I'm a little peon. I only have 510 videos made about me from 89 channels. I looked up Bailey Sarian. She has 636 videos from like 328 channels. So as far as people think I'm hated so much, no, I'm actually a little fucking peon. In the grand scheme of things. Like, wow, I don't have as much hate as I thought I did. So that's a good thing. But for Betty to have more than half of what Molly has, and Molly's been around for 6 years, Betty's only been around for 2, that's pretty bad. I've tried to tell people you're not a bad human. Amber, believe me, I know it's ridiculous. But I thought there were a lot more hate channels that there's not. I mean, only 89 channels and 510 videos. I'm a little peon. Thanks, Barbara. But I'm a little fucking peon. All right. Beyond the bed. As an outsider looking at everything, Dolly lied about Queen Bee grifting money already. She specifically said numerous times, I will not be asking for money. That's a lie, because she already did. Until she's actually served. It doesn't matter if she's served or not. The fact that she is grifting for an attorney is the exact thing that she claims she's against. That's the difference. And that's why he's calling it out. But that's why they're calling it out. That's why Dolly called it out. Now, Dolly said something, though, that's very true. Hey, Jess, and that's just like, shut the fuck up about her. And I agree with that. And it seems like social media as a whole, YouTube as a whole, has gotten to, and I was thinking about this earlier, it's really gotten to the point that nobody cares that people have feelings. Nobody cares that you may affect somebody with constant harassment. You know, yeah, but even if it's until she gets served, it's still grifting, which is the big thing that she claims she was against. And she's still running her mouth about Betty. Just shut the fuck up. But YouTube has gotten to the point, or definitely these communities have gotten to the point that everything is about clicks and views. Everything is about numbers. You hear it on Queen Bee's panel every day. Every day, beat him, or so, she doesn't have that many people watching. Or this one's about watching, or that one's about, or she only had X amount of people in there. Or who cares? She only had X amount of likes. But everything is about numbers. Why is somebody's life about numbers? If you don't like someone, then just don't watch them. Yeah, she's got that Cash App going and is accepting money already. Last night she was getting Cash Apps and Super Chats, and she has every right to. I mean, I'm not stating anything against somebody making Super Chats and Cash Apps, but stop calling somebody else out for what you're doing. And I think that's the point. But that's the point that everyone is getting at. Nobody has a problem with anybody making money, but don't think that you making money is any better than somebody else making money. That's the point. Oh, Denise, I know. The point is, if any of them took the time to look up the lawsuit, they would know that Betty really doesn't have a chance in hell and they don't need money for an attorney. But nobody is telling them that because they're too stupid to know this. So it's an issue, the hypocrisy. It's exactly right, Amber. And I think that's what everybody's missing. Nobody cares if Betty makes money or Queen Bee makes money or Burnt Toast makes money. Nobody cares if all these people make money. But stop calling someone else out for doing what you're doing. That's the point. And stop saying that this one's doing this for views and money when that's what you're doing. Stop saying that, oh, they're grifting when that's what you're doing. That's the point. The lawsuit is filed, Irene. So, I mean, Betty can hand it to her. Betty doesn't need to have her served. People are under this misconception that they have to pay millions of dollars to serve someone. It's $30 to use a server. A process server is $30. If you go through the sheriff's office, it's free. It's a civil lawsuit, guys. This isn't criminal. Nobody killed anyone. Nobody, nobody's on trial for murder. This is a standard defamation case. Defamation, which is why Betty's not going to win. But once I saw the money, at first I thought it was a harassment suit. That's what I thought. She paid $350, then she's an absolute moron. Hold on. Let me look. I don't know Illinois, but let me check. All right, process server. Okay, just so you guys know, if she paid $350, she's a moron. Because according to Rule 102 in Illinois, what has been long allowed under the Code of Civil Procedure, Rule 102, allows for summons to be served via social media, direct message, email, or text message by special order of the court when service by traditional means is impractical. So she absolutely could have served her via mail. So if she legit paid $350, I don't believe her because she got robbed. Process servers in Illinois are $85. So if she's lying to you guys saying she paid $350, yeah, I don't believe it. The most expensive is an eviction fee, and that's $175. She's not evicting anyone. Yeah, that's Rule 102 in Illinois. Now, filing fees are $250. So she may have put those together and did $250 for the filing fee. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A filing fee is $250, and then you have a process fee, a process server fee, which, I mean, The national average is like $50. That's why I was like, if she paid $350, she's an idiot. I'm assuming it's a defamation case, Irish gal, because there's money involved. She's suing her for like $100,000. Beyond the badge, my mods don't time anyone out for having a different opinion. They time people out for being an asshole. 306. If she paid a process server $306, she's a fucking idiot. She got robbed because it's only $85. Cook County is $50. I know she's not in Cook County, but still, she's an idiot. Rush day service in Illinois is $200. So I don't believe she paid $306. I think $306 may have been a filing fee plus a service fee. That makes sense. Well, see, Irene, that's what I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about if it's defamation, cyberstalking, harassment. But as far as I know, harassment would be in her own state. Harassment wouldn't be in her state. And this was filed in QB's state. So that's why I don't believe hold on. Yeah, she got robbed. I'm looking at every single fee in service fee in Illinois, and none of them are even over $100 except for eviction. That's the only one that's over $100. And she could have mailed it. Yeah, she could have served herself. She didn't even need a process server. Yeah, guys, be careful who you time out, though, or don't block anyone. Let people say what they want to say, because I'm probably going to ignore it anyway, but just let people say what they want to say. Yeah, so I don't believe her. I just don't believe that she paid that much. But that's just me. You can serve your own lawsuit in the state of Illinois. You can do the same thing in Iowa, too. No, you can. I just read that. According to Rule 102 of Civil Procedure, the amendments to Rule 102 memorialize what has long been allowed under the Code of Civil Procedure to allow for summons to be served via social media, direct message, email, or text message by special order of the court when service by traditional means is impractical. Being that they live in another state, that Betty is living in another state, that would fall under why its traditional means is impractical. So I'm just telling you what I read. But nowhere is it $300. So there's that. Now, moving on from that. From the paper that I see and the paper that I got, she can't sue both of them together. I said this last night. She can't sue both of them together. They live in two different states. So why she thinks she's so smart that she can sue, you know, Heels in the Air in the exact same lawsuit in the someone else's state is stupid. She didn't read. If she was bringing both of them to court in her state, she may have a chance. But being that she's doing it in Queen Bee's state, there's impossible. She can add whoever she wants, but she doesn't live in that state, and Betty knows she doesn't live in that state. So Betty would have to sue her in her state. She can add her as a co-defendant, but that's about it. She can't sue her. So she's trying to scare them and settle out of court. Okay, if she's looking for money, she's not getting any. But knowing Betty's narcissism, I disagree that she wants to keep this out of court. I absolutely disagree with that. I think Betty wants to do what she did with the other guy. I forgot his name. And I think that she absolutely does want to do this to court, that she would bring this to court. If she thinks she's going to scare them, she needs to think again. She's not scaring anybody. I would laugh at it. But on the flip side, I do understand, crude as fuck, thank you. I do understand what her take is. Yeah, I have a screenshot. Oh, the amount is $306. Great. Yeah, but what I'm saying is I believe that that's $250 for a filing fee and maybe $60 for a process server. Because if she legit paid $306 for a process server, she got robbed. Crude as fucking Betty tried to settle it out of court. I read paperwork from Crude as fuck and Betty tried to sell it out of court. I guess not if they went to court. But if she's looking for money from QB and Heels, they're going to laugh at her. Just like Crude as fuck laughed at her. But the reason why Crude settled and gave her $500 is because Betty went after his family. Heels is too old, and she don't care if Betty goes after her family. And I don't think QB gives a fuck if she goes after his family. If they go after, they don't have what the other one had, what Crude as fuck had. That's just my personal opinion. She was demanding Burnt Toast identity because I said that the other night. She wants to sue Burnt Toast. And that's who she really wants to go after. I could see a Southern gal, but at the end of the day, the truth is Burnt Toast should shut the fuck up about her. Whether they're defaming Betty or not is not the point. It matters in a court of law, but we're grown adults. Why can't they just shut the fuck up? Move on. Stop talking about the same person every fucking day. I mean, I don't think Burnt Toast realized that her last 15 lives are all about Betty. Betty is not that fucking exciting. I'm sorry, but she's just not. All right, so let's hear what a lawyer has to say. Now, it's a little slightly different isn't our whole channel about Betty? It is now. But let's hear what Ian Corzine has to say. Betty did not say she paid $350 to say. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Someone comes in with some facts. Yeah, I knew she didn't pay $350. That was ridiculous. All right. So let's go on and let's show. Like I said, it's a little different, just a little different, but it says a lot. It speaks volumes. Hold on. And let me just tell you guys, call me a tragedy pimp, but I take super chats too. I know I haven't received many super chats. Like, I take donations too. I mean, it's not just the losers that take donations, just saying.
Have you ever gotten a hurtful comment on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook? No? Okay, then we're done here. But seriously, some comments are downright harmful. They hurt our reputation. And the question I'm here to answer today is, can you take legal action against someone who posts a harmful social media comment?
All right, let me just say this, that if nobody would have a receipt unless Betty showed it of how much a process server cost. That would not be public knowledge. Now, what would be public knowledge is what I said originally, and that is what the filing fee was. That you would see. You wouldn't see a process server fee.
Hey creator, I'm Ian Corzine, your social media lawyer. The question for today is, can you take legal action for a harmful post? We begin our analysis with understanding that mean-spirited comments, angry comments, those are actually allowed on the social media platforms. YouTube expressly allows it in its terms of service and under the community guidelines. They don't want a lot of mean-spirited talk, but they do allow it. They believe that it's part of your free speech on the internet type right. So if mean-spirited and angry comments are actually allowed, not only legally, but also on the social media platforms, what is not allowed? What is not allowed, what crosses the line is defamation, defamatory comments. Those are false statements using words that cause damage to a person's reputation or property. There are two main elements for defamation. That is a false statement and actual damage. So in order to prove a case for defamation, in order to bring a lawsuit against someone who has said a hateful or harmful comment against you, you must prove that that statement was actually false and that it caused actual damage to you. How do you do that?
Now, this is where a court case would get tricky. And here's why. The things that are said about Betty are not false. But are they opinion? Because the things that, Betty's record is Betty's record. Betty's nonsense that she lies about is Betty's nonsense that she lies about. That's not opinion. So nobody has actually made false statements about Betty because everything they're saying is actually true and it can be proven to be true. Now, where does this cross the line with an opinion? Okay, they may say that Betty's harassing people. That's an opinion. But if you look at Don Wells' information, okay, if you look at what happened with Don Wells, me, Robin, I don't watch Blank Screen at all. I don't like Betty or fucking Queen Bee. So I'm totally neutral party here. Everything that is said about Betty is usually true. Do I think she harassed people at the houses she went to? I don't know. My opinion, maybe. But do I think that it's going to bite her in the ass? Absolutely. Do I think that her playing a baby is helping to do anything to help her case? Absolutely not. Do I think a judge is going to think that that's helping a case? No, absolutely not. Screaming at Candace and Don Wells, is that going to help a case? Absolutely not. So when she's claiming defamation, that they're harassing her, they're going to use that against her and they're going to win on that. I mean, Queen Bee should write down these notes because that they can win on. She was, by definition, She was not there to help a case because she crossed the line. That's my opinion, and that's how I know the law to be.
You have to be able to have evidence, written evidence or digital evidence that you lost money.
Okay, Liza, one thing I know for sure, and I'm going to say this again, I've said this 1,000 times before, but I'm going to say it again. She filed in Queen Bee's state and is asking for $100,000. That would mean, okay, and I'm getting so aggravated having to say this over and over and over because people like that don't want to fucking listen. If you sue someone in their state and you're asking for money, then that is going to be a defamation. If she was suing Queen Bee in her own state, that could be harassment. But the fact that she's going for money in someone else's state is an automatic defamation. She's looking for money from a defamation case. I'm not going to repeat this again. Next time I hear an ignorant comment, you're going to have to pay me for me to notice.
Or your reputation was substantially damaged as a result of their false statement. The classic case of defamation and social media involved Nicholas Sandmann. That was a case that took place last year. He was a teenager who was accused by the various media outlets of instigating a confrontation with a Native American.
Yeah, but Robin, if you were to tell me that Dolly was suing QB for calling him a kitty diddler, I would say there's an absolute case there because that falls under every part of defamation. I understand why Betty is suing. I do. I get it. Hey, thank you, Rock Jam. I understand why Betty is suing, but I'm just explaining both sides that Betty really doesn't have a case for defamation because they're not saying anything false and they haven't caused her any damages. Betty destroys her own reputation with her lies. Her record is true. The stuff that they say is true. Burnt Toast doesn't, as much as I don't like Burnt Toast, she's not doing anything that's illegal. Is it harassment? Absolutely. Absolute harassment. But it's not defamation. And Betty may be going for harassment too, but you don't ask for money in harassment suits. And Betty doesn't have actual damages because they can show how much money Betty has made. Her going down now, she can't prove that it's because of Queen Bee because Dolly hasn't lost $1. So there's no evidence that what Queen Bee is doing is going to hurting Betty. And QB has absolutely nothing to countersue for. That will be laughed out of court.
American in Washington, D.C. Basically, the media outlets, they're accused of setting up the video and the audio so it made it look like Nicholas Sandmann was actually instigating a conflict. It turned out when more videotape was available that he actually didn't instigate the conflict. He just kind of stood there.
Now that's where I could win a lawsuit. All these clip channels, now Betty could go after this too. If they're taking clips and making someone look that horrible without playing the whole context, that's illegal. But again, is it defamation? Did Betty lose money? No, she didn't. And this is what I said from the beginning. Betty may have lost money now, but it's completely different. Oh, Jen, you missed the very beginning. They actually lied way more about Betty than about me. I'm a little peon. For looking at the numbers, I'm just a little peon compared to her and Molly.
Well, he brought a lawsuit for defamation against multiple media outlets, including the Washington Post. He sued the Washington Post for about $250 million. The case was not resolved with a judgment by the court or a jury. It was resolved with a settlement, and we'll never know how much he settled for.
Stylish. There is no QB doesn't have a lawsuit, and that was her record. I don't know why people can't get this through your head. That was her record. Just because she lied to you guys, that's on her. Betty is suing on principle. I agree.
But he won. He actually was able to get a monetary settlement out of the Washington Post because he was able to prove that they made false statements that caused him actual damage to his reputation. And that is, again, the classic case of defamation. So if you have a social media commenter who's making false statements that's really causing harm or damage to your reputation, you can bring a lawsuit for defamation against them. But before you go off and hire an attorney to sue someone who put a hateful comment on your social media post, I have some considerations for you. The first one is proof.
Thank you, Alexis. Woo woo.
To bring a successful defamation case, you have to have adequate proof. And I'll give you an example. Let's say someone accused you in a social media comment of abusing your children, and as a result, you lost your job as a daycare provider. You no longer could work for a daycare provider because they saw the social media post, they believed it, and then they fired you. Well, adequate proof of your damages would be your paycheck stubs, which show how much money you were making before the comment, and then you'd allege that if that comment had never been made, that you would have continued to make that money and you would have made it for the foreseeable future. That is a good example of having adequate evidence of damages to bring a defamation case against a social media comment poster. And another consideration.
Thank you, Southern Gal. All super chats are appreciated, accepted, and loved.
Is money. Probably the best way to be successful in a defamation lawsuit is to hire an attorney to bring that case. Now, attorneys cost a lot of money. They usually charge by the hour. And so you have to have a lot of money to be able to bring a defamation case. So when someone makes a social media comment that's hateful, that you believe caused damage, that damage has got to be in the thousands of dollars in order to warrant you spending thousands of dollars with an attorney. If it's a comment that merely impeaches your credibility, makes you look not believable, you don't have much damages to show, then at that point in time, you need to consider whether or not it's worth it to spend $5,000, $10,000 on an attorney to bring a defamation case.
So once again, based on what a lawyer is saying, which just confirms the things that I have said about defamation, there is no money loss. There's no way to prove that the money she lost is simply because of Queenbee's harassment. There's no way to prove that at all. And because she can't prove that, she doesn't have a case, in my opinion, sadly.
So that's another main consideration before you go about wanting to sue a social media comment poster. You really got to have adequate proof of actual damage, and you have to be able to prove that that statement is false, and you have to have the money to back it up so you could hire an adequate attorney to represent you in that case. But I really don't want to dissuade you from bringing a defamation lawsuit if someone commented on one of your social media posts and it was so hateful and so harmful to your reputation that you suffered severe damages. You have an absolute right to bring a civil action against that person if they're making false statements and really hurting you by them. Defamation lawsuits are becoming increasingly popular. We're seeing more and more lawsuits filed in the courts relating to defamation. And I think it's because of this environment that we live in called cancel culture. If you haven't heard this term and you want to learn more, and I'm going to teach you how to avoid the harmful effects of cancel culture, you should watch my video right there. And as always, Jenna Marbles does an impersonation of Nicki Minaj in blackface, canceled. Crystalia allegedly texts underage girls, canceled. J.K. Rowling makes a statement on Twitter about transgender issues, canceled. You, think about what you've done, canceled. Hey creator, I'm Ian Corzine, your social media lawyer. I want to help you understand the law and I want to protect your artistic freedom. Today we're talking about cancer culture, which has been discussed a lot in the news of late. We're going to talk about what is cancel culture is going. First, some background. Cancer culture, the term, began to be used in the late 1990s. It referred to TV shows that got canceled, and then eventually it was converted to referring to people that got canceled. That meant that their careers were destroyed, their platform was taken because they had said something, done something, maybe even made a gesture that was against someone's beliefs or society's morals. And as a result, they lost their platform. They lost their ability to speak. They were condemned. It was referred to as group shaming. You know, we've seen a lot of cancer culture in the recent, 10 years or so. And I really wanted to take a deep dive into what cancer culture was. I've done a lot of research on Google. I tried to find some discussions about really what is cancel culture, what are the elements of cancel culture, and whenever I do kind of an investigation, I like to understand the contours of what is the.
And I agree with you. She ruins her own reputation. I absolutely agree with that. But more importantly, it was what someone said, what Sweet One said, and I agree with that too. And I've been saying that from the rooftops for a while. She has to prove that the drop off in subs is due to what was said and not just because she was no longer covering interesting content and she dropped in the YouTube algorithm. I absolutely agree with that. She can't prove that this happened because of Queen Bee or Burnt Toast. She can't prove it. And because she can't prove it, she really can't win that aspect of the case. What I do think is going to happen is if it goes into court, the judge is going to tell Queen Bee, Heels, and everyone else, just shut the fuck up. Be an adult. And that's pretty much, I don't know if you guys saw Whistledown's video on what happened on the Lana case, but basically the judge said, shut the fuck up, move on. This is harassment. Why do you keep talking about the same person over and over and over? Just shut up and move on. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Her biggest drop in subs happened when she put out the fake audio. And that's the part that I just don't understand. Is everybody not a grown adult? Are you not mature enough to just not talk about someone day in and day out? Everybody is so worried about numbers. Everybody is so worried about, making it big or, growing numbers or this or that. And I don't know, they just stop believing that people have feelings, that Betty is a human, whether you like her or not. She's still a fucking human being. I don't think it's thin skin. I don't call that thin skin. I call that someone sick and tired of being talked about when she doesn't talk about them. And that's the difference between Betty and some of us. Some of us definitely fight back. Some of us don't just ignore it. Betty, on the other hand, ignores it. Betty doesn't talk about Burnt Toast or Queen Bee or Heels on a daily. And again, they keep coming at Dolly saying that they're going to sue Dolly. They can't sue Dolly. Dolly didn't fucking do anything. But I will tell you, Dolly certainly has a lawsuit against them if he wanted. I don't know why he doesn't, to be honest. It's gross ladies putting other women down the way they do. I agree. Totally agree. Oh, Lana is still talking about Unmasked? That's sad. Absolutely could be a scare tactic, Southern gal. But I don't think she's going to scare them. All it's going to do is make Queen Bee more money. Her grift is going to be that much stronger. That's all it's going to do, honestly. Queen Bee is going to use this once she gets served. She's going to use this to make money. She's going to use this to line her pockets. She's going to use this to sound like a victim because that's what she does. And if people can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. But that's exactly what she does. And that is exactly how this is going to go down. But it should send a message to everybody. Just shut the fuck up about people. Make your own content. You want to talk about a situation, talk about a situation. But talk about it once or twice and then move on. And that's the thing that people don't do. They just don't move on. No, they don't want to be talked about on a daily basis. Sorry, they don't. I was served to my house in a civil case. Why hasn't QB got it yet? That I don't know. Good night, Jen. She's going to need the money. But you know what I'm saying, though? Nobody should be fooled. Queen Bee is going to make money on this. She's going to pocket that money, and you're all going to look stupid in the end. Of course they have, Irene. Absolutely they have. Because she's now a victim of Betty. And look at how many numbers Betty's name brings. So people are going to hand QB money, hand over fist, to fight Betty. But it's never going to get that far, and it's going to end up you're just making QB richer, which is all Betty is doing, whether she wants to or not. Or whether she realizes it or not. That's all she's doing. And I honestly don't think she even realizes it. I really don't. But that's what's going to happen. Sadly enough. And when you have a lot of haters like that, and Betty does something like this, instead of all of her people stating to her, you know what, why don't we try to settle, why don't you talk to Betty, try to settle this out of court. This way it doesn't even have to go to court. And, we'll support you either way. But instead, they'd rather QB go through all this bullshit and give her money to do so instead of just saying, hey, you know what? Let's just settle this. Because Betty knows she's not getting money from them. So just say, I'm not going to talk about you anymore. That's it. Done. And it shouldn't be that hard to do. It really shouldn't be impossible for someone not to talk shit about someone. Just stop talking about someone day in and day out, or every time you go live. It's not that hard. QB will get worse if this case is dismissed or other angles Betty could. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, Deborah. Not like you just get the money, you have to have a writ of garnishment, serve it on their employer. Well, no, not necessarily, Rachel. That's after the fact. You get a settlement, you get a settlement. Judge doesn't do any of that. Why, have you ever tried to reason with her before you're saying she can't be reasoned with? Have you ever tried? Something has to change. You try to truce, see where it went. It's got to stop. I agree. They will say and do anything for it. Oh, money? I agree with you. But in my opinion, and honestly, I don't know if Betty is this smart, but in my opinion, no, actually, before I say that, let me address the last thing I'm ever going to address from Shyish, unless they start paying me. Last comment I'm ever going to address from you. The ignorant and immaturity of that statement is something that I cannot handle. If you don't like people's judgments, don't go live. No. How about you are the mature one, and if you don't like someone, you don't watch them. Stop blaming a victim. Stop blaming someone who's just doing their fucking job. Why don't you take the initiative, be a fucking adult, and not watch someone that you don't like? So stop with this bullshit. Well, don't go live if you don't want people's judgments. No, just be a fucking adult. Don't watch someone that you don't like. It's not hard. It's really not fucking hard. To most adults, that's how they think. Immature idiots, ignorant people, fucking morons think like that statement. So you don't need to be in here because I just can't deal with fucking stupidity. Thank you, sarcastic. I really can't deal with stupid. You have an opposing opinion, that's fine. You give me some ignorant fucking statement like this moron, I got nothing. Theoretically, you can be doing the same. What do you mean? No, it's not against the law, but it's against my chat. Have a good day. Bye-bye. I want to see the claims and lawsuit before I decide. And I agree with you, too. I haven't seen it. Okay. Didn't I just block you? Yeah, I did. Jeanette, don't even answer stupid. Swendig, I will block idiots. I don't block opposing opinions. I will block fucking idiots. Betty Sure Right has a right to go live. Oh, I could totally do the same lawsuit, but I wouldn't waste my time. I'd have too many people to go after. I am in a kick-ass mood, Tony Fire. Because I am nice enough to read everybody's chats, unlike most creators, and people use that against me. And they think that they could just walk all over me and say whatever they want. I don't need your money, so I'm going to block you, and you can keep your $2. Bye-bye. Have a good day. You're a fucking psycho. Obsessed psycho. Get over me, Huck. Like, seriously, get the fuck over me. I don't think about you. I don't talk about you, and you're in every fucking chat talking about me, putting me down. Bye-bye, weirdo. Take your $2. I think it goes to some fucking charity on YouTube. Stay the fuck out of my chat. Keep my name out of your mouth, you fucking psycho bitch. Oh, you know what? That tells me that's probably who Shyish was. That was Huck. Silly me. Nah, I don't need the money from her. She's an ex-fucking Patreon, ex-mod. She's a fucking psycho. Bye-bye. The problem with Silence and QB is that they're unplatine other channels, knowing it take about. Yeah, I thought of that too, Robin. I did think of that too. That it's only going to make it that much worse for channels that go after Betty. But, you know, instead of people looking at views and money, they need to start looking at the reason behind Betty's lawsuit. Hey, Big Sexy. The reason behind Betty's lawsuit. The reason behind Betty's lawsuit is just shut the fuck up. That's it. Just shut the fuck up. And they can't do it. And trust me when I tell you, a judge is going to say that Betty is right. In the sense of just shut the fuck up. That's what a judge is going to say. And I can prove this from the Lana lawsuit. And I don't know if you guys heard it or not. I will gladly play it. It's a little long, so I'll put it on speed, but you don't see it going to court. That's what I was going to say, by the way. I never finished saying what I was saying because stupid Huck. I had a feeling that a lot of these trolls that are in here are her and a few of her buddies. But that just kind of proved it. But when people push and push and push and push, it's just obvious. Hold on. And they think it's funny, but that's really like a problem with them. Aha, thank you. All right, hang on. All right. I know that's just her record though. Hold on, somebody sent me something. Yeah, but I don't give a fuck about her record from 2006. The fuck do I care? And that was almost 20 years ago. I guess I should hear this because is there any sound? Okay, yeah, Tinker, I don't care about that. That was fucking almost 20 years ago. Yeah, no, I was looking up something. Current one is on that clip. Oh, wait, the first one? No, it's from 2006. I don't give a fuck what you did in 2006. No, I thought it was Betty that did it. I mean, I could be wrong, Peach Struggle. I thought it was Betty that did it. But I could be wrong. Yeah, Tinker, that's all from 2006. Thank you, Robin. No, see, because not too many people, Robin, in this community are non-biased, and I happen to be one of them. And I've always said that. No, Tinker, this is all from 2006. I mean, the first one wasn't. But the other two, that's 2006. But are they the ones that posted Betty's record? I mean, are they the ones that posted the lawsuit? All right. Yeah, this is like fucking impossible to see. Let me see if I can do it this way. Hold on. I might be able to get somewhere this way. All right, this shows the lawsuit. Yeah, it's the same one I have. And the second half doesn't really say much. All right, this is what I wanted. All right. Payment of something. Yeah, no, it doesn't say much. Summons. Hold on. But I will say this much. Dolly was right about the case number. Hold on. I'm looking something up. All right. Case number's correct. I looked it up. It doesn't show much. What is it? It's 2023 LA16. Is that what it is? 16? No matches found. All right, here we go. I got it. All right. It is pro se. Last uploaded 6/15. It's over 50,000, but I remember hearing it was 100,000. All right. Oh man, that's a lot of work. Damn. Queen Bee got a fucking record. Holy shit. Damn. She's like hardcore fucking criminal. Just saying. All right, I got to look through about 100 things to find her. I mean, to find this case. Here it is. All right. Yeah, it doesn't say much. Doesn't really give any information. Hey, I can advertise for $10 a month. Should I advertise on their case? Energy candles? I think that's a good idea. History. Yeah, the payment of $306, that's filing fees. Complaint with exhibits A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Pro se complainant on original filing entered. So she entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. She put in 12 documents. That's all there is. I can't find it. It doesn't show any. This is all you see. I'll show you guys. Hold on. That's all you see. And then if you go to dispositions, history, that's all it shows. Payment of $306 was applied on 6/13. That's just filing fees. Pro se complainant on original filing entered. Complaint with exhibits A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. There's a lot of info. How come I can't find it, though? But look at this. This is a hell of a fucking record. This one's not her. It's the only one with a different birthday. That's the only one with a different birthday. Same birthday, different year. Dude, that's crazy. And they talk about Betty's record? I don't think she should be talking about anybody's record. That's all her. That's her birthday. Same year. That's all her. So my point is, she shouldn't be talking about anybody's fucking record. Ever. I think she's probably got a longer record than fucking Betty does. No joke. 2 pages. That's some serious fucking shit. Yeah, that's what they're saying, that the current lawsuit's 100 pages. So Trying to look. And this stems back all the way to like 2000. Oh, all the way to 2000. You can't enlarge it. Oh, she still owes money too. Two of them, it shows pay now, so she still owes money. One from 2015, one from 2018. How come nothing's coming up? Uh, 2023. I can nothing will come up. Nothing's opening. Oh, there it is. I think I was hitting the wrong thing. So yeah, she owes money. I guess $250 buy. She's got a pretty extensive fucking record. Maybe this was what Dolly was talking about. But this was like 2019. This wasn't even like too long, that long ago. She was arrested. Doesn't say for what. Oh, she owes almost $1,400. She owes $1,400 for that one. And then the other one that says pay now. Guilty. Oh, this is the one Dolly keeps talking about. Dolly said she can't even pay her license. That's this. This is from 2015. She owes $504. She made about $20 in payments. Traffic court. That's what Dolly keeps talking about. Queen Bee wants to sit up there and act like she's so goody two shoes and dog trash. That's piece. I agree with that. Her record is crazy. They're mad for the cops not arresting anyone. You go to protest to the cops, not the neighborhood. Look, I don't agree with her protesting at all. But she still doesn't deserve to be fucking talked about every single day. Denise, absolutely none. And either do the people that run to her. I kind of feel bad. All the money she could have saved from not paying an attorney. She could have saved a lot of money over her life. Sweetie pie, that's the whole point. Who ended up nude threatening police on a highway? Amanda, but this is pretty bad. Tinker, I agree. I mean, this really is a lot of these are criminal. This isn't like, mostly traffic tickets. Almost all of these are criminal. Oh, that's traffic. Ordinance violation, criminal misdemeanor, and I'm just randomly picking some. Traffic, 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 criminal. Oh, you know what though, Robin? I don't even think she's funny anymore. I think she's just a lowlife. Like, I used to listen to her up until recently, but then I really started seeing her true self. She's just trash. And her record seems to prove it. Well, then again, a lot of these are traffic. I'm not going to lie. At least half of these are traffic. Oh. Well, this is interesting. Wow. Oh no, 2007. I don't know. I don't think she raised her own kids. I don't know. I could go on and on, but I'm not. What if I had a channel based solely on gossiping about true crime creators, but never did, and only spoke about BHB? She should sue me or no? I don't know, but 2007 seems like an awful long time ago. But that's because I had my kids late. But I guess if you had kids really young. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't know what 2007 is, because that's a long time ago. Maybe it was her. I don't know. But it's on a record. See, let me ask you a question. All right, and I'm bringing up, I did that for a point. There's a reason I did that, and there's a reason I said that. Okay? And here's why. Why is it okay for her to do that to others? But when somebody does it to her, everyone's like, oh, stop, oh, stop, oh, stop. How come what's good for the goose is not good for the gander? How do you think other people feel that she does it to? How do you think it makes other people feel? That was my whole fucking point of doing that. That it's perfectly okay for her to do it. And y'all sit in her fucking chat when she does it. And you don't say anything because you probably don't like the person that it's going against. But as soon as it's somebody that you actually like, then all of a sudden it's fine. Yep, I agree with you. But she had no problem talking about my kids. She had no problem bringing up my children. That's my point. And half these people sat in her chat and had no problem with it either. Her panel does quite often. But that was my point. I'm glad I made my point. You just graduated. I graduated high school in 1988. Way before 2007. Man, I just went on a whole speech and nobody heard it. Okay. So what I'm saying is, what I'm sick and tired of is, one of the reasons why I didn't show her record is, I may have said a couple things, but I never showed it. I didn't show it because her record has nothing to do with YouTube. Her past dealings with the police have nothing to do with her YouTube at all. But they want to talk about everybody else's history. They want to talk about everybody else's past record, like Betty. Betty's previous record has nothing to fucking do with YouTube. Molly being arrested when she was a real estate agent or whatever has nothing to do with YouTube. None of this shit has anything to do with who they are on YouTube. And that's what people cannot seem to grasp. I didn't go through her record and show it to you guys. I said things, but I didn't go through it and show you guys and, oh, she did this, blah, 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 because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what she did 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like, somebody posted a video showing what she did in 2006. Who gives a fuck what she did in 2006? And I'm talking about QB here. I don't give a fuck what she did in 2006. Why did someone make a video about it? It doesn't say who she is today. Same thing with Betty. I don't give a fuck if Betty beat up 20 ex-boyfriends and 50 husbands. It has nothing to do with her on YouTube. And that's the link that people can't fucking grasp. Well, but when Molly was arrested in New Orleans, she was on YouTube. That's the difference, though. She was on YouTube. That's kind of different. But most of these people go after someone's life like it matters on YouTube. It don't fucking matter on YouTube. Who cares? I mean, it's like interesting to look at to see who they are or confirm who they are, but that's all. All she does is slag up Dolly and Betty and Laura and Molly. Yeah, Molly's not on YouTube. I agree. But then her people cry like little babies when I stream about her. Then they cry. She did bring it to YouTube, though, Amanda. She really did. That's one incident. I mean, she made merch out of it. I mean, she didn't bring it to YouTube years later. That she didn't do. But she did bring the story to YouTube. That one she did. Then others got the footage, yes. Yeah, but then Diane's channel took it one step further. Queen of Losers not beat. I agree with that too. But the point is, don't sit there and talk about someone else when you're no better. And the way they attack Betty for her previous record, when you have a record like this, I think that was the point that Betty was trying to make. 9 out of 10 times she has absconded and has a warrant. Yeah, I don't know, but it does show pay now. There's 2 different courts, 2 different things that says pay now. Really? Swende, you think one is better than the other? You really think one is better than the other? I don't. I think they're both lowlifes. Honestly, I really do. That's my opinion. Betty beating up every man she's with is kind of funny, really. but the amount of videos are insane. Maybe that, no, it seemed like a bunch of them, Amanda. It definitely seemed like a bunch of them. Yeah, but Swendag, see, this is where I guess I'm more mature than most. I don't like Betty at all. I think Betty is a narcissist. I think she's a liar. I think she's a fraud. I think she's a phony. But that doesn't mean that I have to attack her every fucking day. That doesn't mean that I have to make videos about her every single day. It doesn't mean that, I have to spend my time and energy talking about her and her past and every single thing she's ever done wrong. That's ludicrous. That's a problem with the person doing it, not Betty. I have the right and the choice to just fucking change the channel, which is what I choose to do. I don't like Betty, so guess what? I don't watch Betty. And I don't watch clip channels about Betty. Why? I don't like her. I mean, I thought that was like a normal thing to do. But for some reason, people love watching someone that they don't like just so they can pick them apart. That's not Betty's problem. That's your problem. If you get enjoyment out of picking someone else apart, then you're the one with the problem, not the person you're attacking. That's what I don't understand. People don't get. Betty's not the one with the problem if you're the one that can't stop watching her, or that you find things to pick her apart about. That's your issue. That's not Betty's issue. And I think that's Betty's whole point in this lawsuit. And I do. I honestly believe that. And I don't blame her either. Well, maybe it's a good thing that you're not an owner of a business that hires people, Swendig. Because a drug user would steal from you. Someone for assault and battery is not going to steal from your business, but a drug addict would. I don't think she tries to do that on purpose, sweet one. I think that's just who she is. Do you believe that something is public, it's okay to bring it here on YouTube? No, because everything is public. I can find out everything I need to know publicly about B. Tim, about anybody. Rob and I agree with that. It has to be exhausting watching someone every fucking day that you hate. I could not imagine. Congratulations, Amanda. Guys, I'm an ex-addict or a recovered addict, whatever you want to call it. So don't think I'm saying anything against addicts. I'm just saying, assault and battery, that you've never been convicted over a drug addict that has tons of convictions. Yeah, I'd go with the assault and battery. Assault and battery. Hey, Cindy. Also need to see convictions versus charges. Who is a felon, who isn't. You see, and I never watched Jerry Springer either. I stopped watching Jerry Springer a long time ago. And I mean long time ago, like, let's say it was on from the time I was 18 to the time I was 30. I probably stopped watching it when I was like 21. I don't know. I just don't get enjoyment out of someone else's heartache or someone else's downfall. I don't find enjoyment in it, of totally picking on someone day after day after day. Once in a while, yeah, it's fun. Once in a while, it's funny. But honestly, I fucking cringe half the time. I mean, Natasha Cooper's notorious for going after people. Notorious. And I can listen to a little while. Same thing with Bombshell. Sometimes, yeah, he did. I can listen to Bombshell for a little while, and then it just gets annoying. Not that she gets annoying, just the whole let me attack someone. Let me attack someone. That's all anyone wants anymore. Just attack someone. Grow up. I feel like calling QB in a panel scumbag is too much of a compliment. It's just they're a bunch of hypocrites. But I don't know. It's just me. I just don't get enjoyment out of it. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people think it's fun, but I don't know. Maybe you just grow up. She created a hate channel so fans expect hating every day. Absolutely. I will agree with that too, Tony. And that's a lot of them. A lot of them created hate channels. And they think that that's perfectly fine. I think it's gross. Hey, Annie. For the most part, YouTube appeals to the lowest common denominator. It's true, too. Oh, I know, Robin. I totally agree with that, too. But talk about someone having no money. She's one of them that has no money. Like, I'll give you an example. My ex-mods, not a lot of them, only a few of them, like the one Huck that was in before. I don't know why they just can't. You walked away, so stay away. You didn't want to support me anymore, so why are you in here fucking antagonizing me like a fucking 12-year-old? Like, grow up. But they think it's funny. They laugh. They think it's funny because they know I read comments. To me, there's nothing funny about it. Like, grow the fuck up. You're like 30-something-year-old woman. Grow up. I don't know. Ask Burnt Toast. Ask Burnt Toast that question you heard. They can't let it go, Janelle. It's ridiculous. And I think it's mostly just her. Because I can tell her personality, and I usually know. I don't think it's any of the others. I really don't. I think it's just her. And they all sit there and laugh like it's so funny. Like, ha ha. Like, grow the fuck up. Who's super witty and funny, Swindig? Well, I know she is. A lot of them are lonely people. I'll agree. Swindig, who's witty and funny? She was half the reason I backed off. She was too overbearing. Janelle, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, whatever. Like, go the fuck away. And then she wonders why she has a stalker, Janelle. Gee, I wonder. Oh, Amanda, absolutely. I never watched Jerry Springer, not even once. He was funny when he first came out. And then he just wasn't funny anymore. It was like the same old shit over and over and over. You can only watch the same shit over and over and over so many times. I believe many of them thrive on drama. I'll agree with that too. Do you guys want to watch the? Do you guys want to listen to? Yay, Rack Jam! I got to roll you into Patreon. I think MM is one of the worst when it comes to criticizing others. A lot of them are. They have no interscope at all. Robin, I don't know who you two are talking about. Janelle, I already blocked him. It's probably Nick. I wouldn't doubt if it's Nick. Hey, Capone. Because again, that channel can do whatever they want. They dox the fuck out of my name. They did, they've had my name connected to some sick shit. They didn't care. Nobody said a fucking word. Fucking Heels even went one step above. She literally went one step above and put my name connected on a video. Do you see me crying about it? Did you see my people go in there crying about it? No. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, whether you fucking like it or not. It's just the way it is. You're going to pull some fuck shit on your channel. Don't be surprised when it gets done to you. That's all, plain and simple. I'm so sick and tired of her people coming in here like everybody is so bad and she's just an angel. That's very Voices is anything but witty or funny. Just saying. Liar, yes. Witty and funny, no. Southern gal, what you got? Oh, absolutely, Amanda. She's hit every community. Queen Bee was the only one left. Oh, I don't think she's witty at all. I'm sorry. Maybe it takes wit to lie the way she does, but I don't think she's witty at all. I think she's just a fucking liar. Southern gal, ask away. I don't know. I don't find someone that lies that much witty. She just makes shit up out of the clear blue just because. What caused the riff the real riff caused because I was on her panel and my haters got wind that I was on her panel. So they started harassing her. They started coming after her. They started, they were all infiltrating her chats just to get me out or cause a rift between us. They were emailing her. They were nonstop. And at first she was like, no, I like Laura. Enough is enough. But then I used her as an example and she used that as a reason to fucking lose her shit. And that's exactly what happened. And all I did was use her as an example and everything went fucking crazy. She took it wrong. I was like, dude, I used you as a fucking example. And she took it wrong, and then the rest is history. But I wouldn't be mad at you for asking. But my haters got what they wanted. She fell for it. They got what they wanted. And now they don't even like her or come around anymore. And I told her that's what they were going to do. That's all I did was use her as an example. And then it escalated from there. But now I see who she really is. Yeah, Voices is the most vile person out there. I'll agree with that. So do you guys want to watch this Lana, what the judge said to Lana? Or you guys don't care? Of how a judge really sees court? But all right, it's a little long. It's like 30 minutes. But hold on. I can't believe Lana's still going at her. That's crazy. That's like legit crazy. She should not still be going after her. Whistle down. Whistle down. All right. Not to strike people playing it, just community play? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not playing her video. I'm playing someone else's. So there's that.
Back.
Your Honor, I want to start briefly with outlining some of the First Amendment and 14th Amendment case law that applies. There is limited case law regarding how to deal with limited public officials, and most of it is in the context of defamation, but I think it's a helpful one. Okay. McIntyre v. Jones, 194 P3rd 519, which is a Colorado Court of Appeals case from 2008.
Oh, I just got 194. What else?
194 P3rd
Okay.
519, and it's a.
Let me just tell you guys, that's Lana. The judge sounds exactly like Mommy Ramblings. If I did not watch this live, like when it happened, I would swear this was a joke and that's Mommy Ramblings. So that's when you'll know it's the judge, when it sounds like Mommy Ramblings.
2008 Colorado Court of Appeals case. That case breaks down the correct analysis for defamation, but I think it relates to this because what a defamation case is about is what is not protected speech under the First Amendment, and what we are dealing with here is avoiding a prior restraint that would impact protected speech. So therefore, anything that would be defamatory or not covered by the defamation laws would therefore be something that could be restrained under the First Amendment and 14th Amendment. In McIntyre, the Court of Appeals breaks this down into a four-part inquiry. First is that it must involve a matter of public concern, which is a case-by-case inquiry, and it embraces an issue about which information is needed or appropriate, where the public may reasonably be expected to have a legitimate interest in what is being published. It can be fairly considered as relating to any matter of political, social, or other concern. Second, for purposes of this hearing, we do acknowledge that both Ms. Oriani and Ms. Walsh are limited public figures. Whereas a public figure is one who has assumed a role of special prominence in the affairs of society, for example, a movie star or the President of the United States. A limited purpose public figure is someone who voluntarily injects himself into a particular public controversy. In this case, for example, the Watts matter or any other true crime issues that each of them is reviewing. Number three, it has to involve an issue of constitutional fact. So whether the statement involves a matter of public concern, whether the person is a public official or a limited public figure, and whether the statement constitutes, and this is super important, a protected opinion. And so what this is aimed at doing is making sure that journalists can publish opinion pieces about even limited public figures as it relates to an individual controversy. Using this framework, we can determine that the permanent restraining order that we are seeking in this case, which we are absolutely seeking to define more clearly for Ms. Oriani, would not be violative of the First or 14th Amendment. The statements in this case about Ms. Walsh that we have talked about throughout the day today are not a matter of public concern. They're the exact opposite. They're about immensely private matters relating to miscarriage, her husband, her 14-year-old daughter, And Ms. Walsh is a person who has taken pains to not reveal her true self and not provide any information about her family online. And while she is a limited public figure, that is for purposes of a specific type of controversy that is in the true crime arena. It is not, it does not make her open game for dealing with any old thing that comes up in her personal life. Number three, the personal information and destructive and harassing comments to Ms. Walsh broadcast, across this YouTube channel is something that Ms. Walsh has expressed concerns about, and I think those concerns are borne out today. But Ms. Oriani has a following of people who are willing to be, I think, openly dishonest in order to assist her. And when that comes to people serving papers that they understand they have no business serving just to harass her on Ms. Oriani's behalf, that is an alarming development. Most importantly, the information that Ms. Oriani is expressing on her YouTube channel are not a personal opinion. It is personal details about Ms. Walsh. It is not a personal opinion. If she was posting the absolutely obscene Shazam videos that she had talked about and discussing the Watts case, that would be something that I find abhorrent, but it would be something that's protected by the First Amendment. Disclosing someone's address, posting pictures of their husband who's a private person, and doing other things is not part of that. And so applying that analysis to the prongs the court has to determine in this case, number one, Ms. Oriani did commit acts constituting grounds for issuance of a protection order. Nothing that Ms. Walsh testified to is controverted at all by Ms. Oriani. And in fact, I think the record is very clear that before the two even met or had anything to do with each other, Ms. Oriani was so desperate to get Ms. Walsh's attention that she posted a photo of her husband during a trailer. And that was in Exhibit 14D on 1/5/21. And then a year later, she has another video on 12/31 of 21 where she is admonishing Ms. Walsh for not responding when that video of her husband was posted the first time and then posted a second time. Although the court heard about a lot of different concerning behaviors tonight that can kind of broadly be categorized as content that is broadcast to a group of people that is intended to harass and intimidate Ms. Walsh by providing confidential health information, confidential information about her personal life, confidential information about her husband and child, her IP address with her zip code, her full name, and other things she has tried to keep secret. I think it all is really encapsulated well into what happened last night. And what happened last night, based on the testimony of Ms. King and Ms. Abeda, who testified contrary to one another in several respects, and I think they were taking great pains to please Ms. Oriani. They both testified that they served a document that they knew was not proper service. The court has the exhibits on 10G, 10H, showing what, and then 10A through D and 10E, that it was not one subpoena, it was two. It included a subpoena to Ms. Oriani's 14-year-old daughter, in what I think was a transparent attempt to intimidate her to not show up today, that nobody thought that was good service. Ms. King testified sort of confusingly that she didn't understand what she was doing there, and she was very reticent to say who she knew and what her job was, even though she flew here from Iowa to be present at this hearing. Ms. Abeda testified that she knew full well it wasn't good service, that she did it at Ms. Oriani's request, that Ms. Oriani had given her the documents, then advised her that they were quashed, and while they both tried to backtrack and act like they were only serving Mr. Walsh, which would have been harassing enough, they also attempted to, and I hesitate to use the word service, that's certainly not service, but they included the subpoena to Ms. Walsh's minor daughter as part of that in what is an escalation of prior threatening and harassing behavior which occurred online, and then they showed up at her house. This is someone who flew here from Iowa to do Ms. Oriani's bidding, and another person who is essentially a fan of her YouTube channel who is driving around doing her bidding. And I think that escalation really goes to the second prong, where unless restrained, Ms. Oriani is not only not going to stop, she's going to continue to escalate her intimidating and harassing behavior of Ms. Walsh, and I request that the court grant the permanent restraint.
Counsel, on the first prong, there are certain areas that the court must find before an order of protection can be granted. And those are found at 13-14-104.5. You said you think that there are ample grounds and you have cited reasons, but I'd like you to marry those reasons with one of those categories.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that this falls in the category most prominently of to prevent stalking under 13-14-104.5 1A. What stalking is, the way that it's defined in the Colorado Revised Statute, is sort of can be understood shorthand to be sort of the like harassing type behavior, but with the equivalent or with the addition that it is conduct that is likely to cause and does cause or likely to cause a reasonable person emotional distress and does cause Ms. Walsh emotional distress. And in this particular case, the persistent harassing behavior, the contact, the needing to block her, and then Ms. Oriani's escalating behavior once she was blocked is absolutely harassing. It would certainly qualify as harassment under the laws of Colorado, and it is something that would cause an ordinary person to experience extreme emotional distress. And very importantly, it did cause Ms. Walsh extreme emotional distress. She testified that she was having insomnia, that she had to take additional anxiety medications, that she was distraught because her husband had to take down all of his social media because he'd become a target, and that she was experiencing very acute physical issues, including increased high blood pressure. And looking at 18.3.602, which is the definition of stalking, it says a person commits stalking if directly or indirectly the person knowingly, repeatedly follows, approaches, contacts, places under surveillance, or makes any form of communication with another person, a member of that person's immediate family, or someone with whom that person has or had a continuing relationship in a manner that would cause a reasonable person to suffer serious emotional distress, and does cause that person, a member of the person's immediate family, or someone with whom that person has had a continuing relationship, to suffer serious emotional distress. For purposes of this paragraph C, a victim need not show that he or she has received professional treatment or counseling to show that she suffered serious emotional distress, although Ms. Walsh did testify that she had. And one of the other elements of stalking is there has to be a credible threat. What the definition of a credible threat under that same statute is a threat, a physical action, or repeated conduct that would cause a reasonable person to be in fear for the person's safety or the safety of her immediate family, or of someone with whom the person has or had a continuing relationship. The threat need not be directly expressed if the totality of the conduct would cause a reasonable person such fear. And in this case, I believe that the totality of Ms. Oriani's conduct is a credible threat that has placed Ms. Walsh in fear. I think it constitutes stalking under 18.3.602, and I think that pursuant to 13.14.104.5, a protection order in this case is appropriate to prevent stalking.
Thank you. Her behavior. Ms. Walsh believed that Ms. Oriani had personal information, medical information that she was going to disclose. She had placed a picture of Ms. Walsh's husband in an advertisement on the YouTube channel, a teaser, and at one point had said in Exhibit 14D, "Do I have your attention now?" Ms. Walsh indicated that these continued and repeated contacts with Ms. Oriani caused her a lot of stress to the point that it affected her health. It caused her blood pressure to increase. It caused anxiety and insomnia. That she was fearful for her daughter. Because it's not just one person, it's the urging of other people as well. Next, the court heard from two associates of Ms. Oriani. The court first heard from Sarah King. Ms. King arrived from Iowa with Ms. Oriani. She met Ms. Oriani through a true crime channel. She's a personal friend of Ms. Oriani's. Indicated that she and Ms. Oriani had arrived on Friday, and they came to see Jamie Abeda. Ms. Oriani was staying with Ms. Abeda, and that Ms. King had helped serve papers for Jamie Abeda on Sean Walsh. The court then heard testimony from Jamie Abeda. Ms. Abeda's testimony was that she drove Ms. King to serve the subpoena. She had hired Ms. King to serve the subpoena. She indicated that she paid Ms. or was going to pay Ms. King $50, although Ms. King testified she had no idea how much she was being paid. Ms. Abeda was aware that the subpoena had been quashed and had been told so by Ms. Oriani, at least as far as the minor child goes, but had not served.
Tell me the judge does not sound like mommy ramblings. But let me also point something out. The reason why this is so important, because this is a judge that does, this is what I was trying to say last night. The judge doesn't understand how YouTube works. The judge is looking at this from an outside perspective. And that is exactly what Betty is banking on. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Everybody on QB's side is looking at this like, because they understand YouTube. But this is not YouTube. The judge doesn't know how YouTube works. And he's only going to see. And if you think Betty is not going to use all this to her advantage, you're insane. Betty is going to say she's been harassed, that it's hurt her mental health. It has affected her daily life. People have come to her house and look in her windows. She's going to use all of this, how it's detrimental to her well-being. And she's going to be right. But I'm sure Betty has looked into all of this.
The subpoena on Mr. Sean Walsh in a timely way. Rather, this was being done the night before the hearing. And finally, the court heard from Ms. Oriani herself. She indicated that she is from Columbus, Ohio, that she's been a resident of Ohio all her life, and that she started blogging in March of 2021. That's when she first went and did a live video on YouTube. The court found that her testimony really strayed from the issues before the court, but the gist of her testimony was that she had never met Ms. Walsh, never threatened her family, being the family of Ms. Walsh, and did not believe that the protection order should have been granted in the first place. And repeated that as well in her summation. In Ms. Oriani's summation, Ms. Oriani talks about the first prong of the test, which the court had read to the participants earlier, and that is under 1314-104.5. The court needs to find that one of the categories, that there's an imminent risk of harm to prevent, assaults or threatened bodily harm, or 2, to prevent domestic abuse, 3, to prevent emotional abuse of the elderly or an at-risk adult, to prevent sexual assault or abuse, or number 5, to prevent stalking. The statute providing for permanent protection orders, which is 1314-106, has the court re-examine prong number 1. Okay, because this time the evidence needs to be subject to a challenge of cross-examination. So while I can take judicial notice of the application and motion, the court needs to take a look again at those reasons for a protection order. But interestingly, it does not require a finding of imminent danger in order to have a necessary prerequisite for issuing a permanent protection order. And that, of course, is, one, we were talking about it in January, and now it is here in March. But I examined those facts on the first prong to make sure that there were grounds constituting good cause for the issuance of a protection order, and that 2, unless restrained, the defendant will continue to commit such acts or acts designed to intimidate or retaliate against the protected person. So we've got a 2-prong approach. And before and after, which has been emphasized over and over again by the defendant, is a point really well taken. What was before the court at the time of that first hearing to justify the protection order, and then what's gone on since then? Well, we're going to take prong 2 first, okay? Frankly, folks, all hell's broken loose since the order of protection was issued in January. That order of protection was issued on January 13th of 2022. I have a return of service indicating that it was served upon the defendant on the 17th of January in Iowa. And since that time, there has been an extreme escalation by the defendant. With allegations that not just once, but twice, that order of protection has been violated. Since that time, in reviewing the exhibits that have been admitted, and let me go through those with you, the court has admitted Plaintiff's Exhibit 2A, 2B, 3A, 6A, and now we come upon some weird numbers, 7, 2A through 7, 2E. So we have A, B, C, D, and E, 8A through 8G, and 10A through 10H, all of which have been admitted. And since that time, the situation has greatly escalated, and had the court had that information beforehand, I would have definitely said under 18.3, 602, 1B and 1C, there were grounds for issuing the protection order. 1B talks about a credible threat to another person. And seeing and I don't care if it was a Nerf gun or not, being repeatedly fired and practicing aim, the court was greatly alarmed by that, and do find that that would cause a reasonable person, under the totality of that conduct, fear for their life and fear for the lives of their loved ones. The court finds by a much more than a preponderance of the evidence that if, unless restrained, these acts are going to continue. They're going to, similar acts are going to continue, or maybe different acts designed to retaliate against the protected person. Okay, but that begs the question as to prong number 1. At the time that the court issued the protection order, and it was this court that issued the protection order, what was presented? Well, frankly, the defendant herself talked a lot about that application. And at the time, the court, at the time of that application, the court knew several things. The court knew that the plaintiff had threatened to divulge medical information about the plaintiff, had put her picture, or put a picture of Sean Walsh in the ad, a teaser for the Christopher Watts case. Had indicated that she had become so alarmed with the repeated tags and postings that she had to let her daughter know that if she would see this person come to the home, because the person had threatened to come to her home, to not let her in. And in reviewing the exhibits, the exhibit that caught the court's attention was the one that said, "That'll get your attention," or words to that effect. That's simply code for I'm trying to cause you emotional distress. There is no other legitimate purpose for these items.
Now, to a regular YouTuber, we're like, big deal. What does that mean? But again, this is a judge looking from the outside in that knows nothing about YouTube. Someone posting that is as simple as that's harassment. That's not right. That's the point of me playing this.
Then to cause emotional distress to Ms. Walsh. These are not, this is not issues of protected speech under McIntyre v. Jones or any other case. While the two parties are limited public figures, that does not create open season on their private lives. So it brings the court back to, brings the court back to 18.3.602, subsection 1C. A person commits stalking if directly or indirectly through another person. The person knowingly, repeatedly follows, approaches, contacts, places under surveillance, or makes any form of communication with another person. Okay, well, here what we have both repeatedly contacts and repeatedly makes any form of communication, because whether it's a direct telephone call, whether it's a tagging, that is contact, it is a form of communication. So repeatedly follows, approaches, contacts, places under surveillance, or makes any form of communication with another person. A member of the person's immediate family or somebody with whom the person has or has had a continuing relationship in the manner that would cause a reasonable person to suffer emotional distress, and does cause emotional distress. Well, I do find that Ms. Walsh has testified quite credibly, and frankly is the only credible witness here today regarding her level of emotional distress. I find her testimony at the temporary orders hearing credible, and the testimony at the permanent orders hearing credible. And finally, she need not show that she received professional treatment or counseling to show that she has suffered serious emotional distress. So I do find that prong number one, by a preponderance of the evidence, was met at the time that the court issued the temporary order of protection. I don't find it relevant to the court's consideration that there were no direct threats made by Ms. Oriani, especially as the behavior escalated under 18.3.602 2B under the credible threat definition. Credible threat means a threat, physical action, or repeated conduct, emphasis on repeated conduct, that would cause a reasonable person to be in fear for the person's safety or the safety of their immediate family. And the last sentence is, the threat need not be directly expressed if the totality of the conduct would cause a reasonable person such fear. And the court does find that the totality of the conduct does cause a reasonable person such fear. And that is the credible threat that resulted after the situation escalated. So at this point, the court now believes even stronger than I did back in January that a protection order is necessary. I did grant this order of protection under the guise of 1C originally. If examining the facts again today, I find it even stronger under both 1C as well as 1B that it is necessary. Counsel, are there any further findings that you are requesting?
Your Honor, I don't request any further findings. I do have a question regarding the language on the protection order, because Ms. Oriani stated in court both while she was testifying in her closing that she has been in perfect compliance with the protection order in this case, and that it has been easy. And it seems as though she might think the protection order only requires her not going near Ms. Walsh, and I would appreciate if the court could add some additional language.
All right. Well, I think it's important that I don't make any ruling regarding or any judicial finding.
Add some additional language.
All right. Well, I think it's important that I don't make any ruling regarding or any judicial finding regarding whether or not that temporary order of protection was violated. I very well could be the finder of fact in a court trial that's held. This is a very small jurisdiction in a big metro area, and I have a criminal docket. You saw me doing one this morning before you came in. So let me add some additional findings and see if that takes care of this. Ms. Oriani, I don't find your testimony credible. I found your testimony to be at many times incomprehensible and wandering, and that there is a definite fixation that you have on Ms. Walsh, and it's a very unhealthy fixation. That there appears to be the motive here, and I heard quite a bit when I was commenting during your testimony. That was really for your benefit, for your ears. That what I was hearing from you was simply more motive about this passion and that you had for Ms. Walsh, and an extreme interest in what was going on with Ms. Walsh. And it's important that now that the order of protection will be made permanent, that you don't violate it. That this seems to have been caused from maybe some hurt feelings that Ms. Walsh had not wished to follow you or to associate with you, and that led to this stalking type of behavior. But now that that order of protection has been issued, it's important that you understand that you are responsible for following the order of protection, and that third-party contact especially not be practiced, because third-party contact is a violation of this order of protection. And I'm going to leave that up to the police and the district attorney's office to figure out whether or not they believe probable cause exists. But I can tell you, I did not find Ms. Abeda's testimony or Ms. King's testimony credible either. That there was nothing about what happened in the serving of the subpoenas, and there were 2 subpoenas served. I don't find that it was credible to assert anything, but that that was done only for the purpose of harassment. That was done. There's no legitimate reason. First of all, for the minor child to be served, I quashed that. Double check my date on that. I had quashed that protection order back on the 20th of February. And if I'm looking at a calendar,
it was quashed on the 28th of February.
Thank you. My contacts are starting to stick a little bit. So the 28th, so that would have been, yeah, because the 20th was on a Sunday. A week ago today, there was no legitimate reason other than to say, ha ha, I'm here, and I know where you live, and I'm out to make sure that that I have your attention. I think those were the words. I have your attention now. That was in Exhibit 14D, that intent to inflict more emotional distress was there. And certainly it was not timely filed on Sean Walsh either. And so it's important that you and your associates understand that that's going to get you in trouble. I find that was done at your direction and is not appropriate, and in the future will get you in trouble. Okay? Again, I can't emphasize anything more to you than contact through third party is contact. Ms. Oriani, do you have any further findings that you wish me to make?
No.
All right. Well, then I'm going to instruct the clerk to prepare that order of protection.
Same as the original.
Same as the original.
When you're
And there you have it. So now where Betty is correct, Betty is correct in the sense that just because she's Betty doesn't give people a right to harass her every single day, doesn't give people a right to say whatever the fuck they want about her, put her in danger, get 6, 7, 800 people riled up all the time to go at her, to talk shit about her. You just don't have that right. They do it to Dolly. They do it to me. They do it to Betty. They do it to Molly. They did it to Uni. They did it to they do it to everybody that they deem less than. Meanwhile, none of these people are even talking about her. I don't think Molly has ever mentioned QB. Maybe like twice. But for the most part, she don't fucking mention QB. QB is nothing to her. She never had a relationship with her, never had a friendship with her. She don't give two fucks about QB. But there's QB always talking about her. I mean, not so much anymore, but used to. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I just ate a bunch of boiled peanuts. And, you know, I've started talking about her recently because I'm just sick and tired of her putting me in a titles with this Laura lies. No, sorry, bitch. I don't lie. You're the one, you're the criminal that fucking lies, not me. But Betty doesn't talk about her. Uni, different story. But JLR never talks about her. Nobody ever talks about her. But she throws digs at these people all the time. And then the people in her chat don't fucking see what a hypocrite she is. Mania, she was going after unmasked husband and child and going to her home pay. No, that's what you took out of it. But the main issue is that Unmasked didn't go for money. Unmasked just went for a restraining order. She wasn't looking for money. And that's why it was done in her state. Betty is going for money, which is why it has to be done in QB's state. That's the difference. If Betty wasn't going for money, it would be done in Florida and QB would have to go to Florida. But she is going for money. That's the difference. I agree, Tinker. Though, you know, boiled peanuts is a Southern African thing. Is it? I love them. I can't live without them. The guy at the gas station must think I'm nuts. But like I said, if Betty is just trying to make a point, then I hope it works. She's not. She's doing it on her own. Will Betty get $100,000? No. That's Betty's narcissism. But again, if she's trying to make a point, then she's got a good point. Molly didn't talk about Molly? You mean QB? No, Liza, but that's your opinion. You don't know what the next judge is going to be like. Betty and QB's judge could be like some fucking 90-year-old guy who's half senile, who doesn't understand YouTube or social media at all. I mean, that judge sounded kind of youngish and kind of understood a little bit about social media, but we don't know what judge they're going to have. Their judge could be an older guy that knows nothing about YouTube and could be like, this is straight up harassment, like be an adult. You don't like someone, you don't need to give your opinion in front of 700-900 people, because then you're just riling people up. So again, we don't know what the judge is going to say. We don't know what kind of judge they're going to have. They may have a young hip judge that's going to tell Betty she's an idiot. But you have Burnt Toast over there going around saying she's got to bring up, years of stuff. No, she doesn't. She doesn't need to bring up years of shit at all. Like, I don't know where some of them even get their shit from. Some of them are just totally talking out of their ass. No, Molly never talks about QB. She barely even knows who she is. But they want to be able to talk and talk and talk and talk and say whatever they want about people until it's done back to them. And then they sit there and they cry. And then they say, poor me. But as I said before, the person who really has a fucking lawsuit against them is, whatchamacallit, is, Dolly. Dolly should fucking sue them. Because now he has a legit lawsuit. Except he didn't lose any money. But maybe he did. Who knows? You know? Maybe he has lost money. Who knows? I don't care what happens. If it stops the pack mentality, I'm for it. I agree. And I hope it does. I think she meant to show a loss financially. You need to provide years' wages as comparables. You don't need years. She hasn't even been on YouTube years. If you lost $5 because of something someone said, that's all you need to know. You don't need years and years worth. QB only started talking about her, like, let's say 3 months ago, 6 months ago. She doesn't need to show beyond that. And she certainly doesn't need her financial records from a year ago that has nothing to do with anything. Yeah, Dolly's sales went up. That's why I could never do anything, because sales went up. The more people talked about my candle business, the more I made money. So I couldn't say anything. Yes, there was talk of going to Molly's house, even renting the Airbnb. But that has nothing to do with Betty. I agree, Callie. I doubt Queen Bee has a lot of money. Yeah, I don't think so either. But that's what I'm saying. As far as the money goes, I don't think it's a money issue with Betty. I think it's a point. Like, shit, you going for 100,000? Why not go for 10 million? Betty's a very intelligent woman, and I would be scared if I was them. Betty would have left no stone unturned in this case and the evidence she needs. Oh, I agree with that, too. I don't agree she's very smart. I think the woman is an idiot. But I agree that she had left no stone unturned and has all the evidence she needs, knows exactly what to say, how to say it. I totally agree with that. I hope the courts do catch up with social media. I really do. It's about time. They need to, for sure. And hopefully it gets them to shut the fuck up about everybody, not just about everybody. A crime scene, that's my thing too. BHB stays in her own lane. She doesn't bother anyone. She does her thing. If you don't like her, then just don't watch her. I'm a strong believer in that. I've been saying it over and over and over. You know, people want to tear her apart. Why are you even watching her? Just don't watch her. Months of the year are slower in general. That's what I mean as comparables. Yeah, but no. Swendag, come on. I'm not going to argue with this. The bottom line is your buddies over there are pieces of shit. That's the bottom line. They fuck with people because they think in their twisted mind they're so much better and that they can make money on these people. Anyone they talk about is people they can make money on. I don't know why you can't see that. Exactly, Callie. Just scroll on. You don't like someone, don't watch them. And if you are going to watch them, then don't fucking talk shit about them every single time you're live. I mean, I literally do not even watch her anymore. I can't. It's just hate. It's nonstop fucking hate against someone. I did watch, I'll tell you what I did watch. She was on one night with the baby killer or whatever. That I did listen to because that's all they were doing was showing this video. And there was no one else on. But they're not even enjoyable anymore. Every day, Dolly's a kitty diddler. No, he's not. And they think they could just call people, Laura lies. Prove it. Prove where I fucking lie. You can't. But it sounds good to just throw that out there. Like, they're a bunch of fucking lowlifes. And I'm sorry for those that can't see it. And it's not about anything other than them making money. And people don't want to see that, but that's a fact. They only run their mouth to make money. Why we're not doing this for money. Yes, you are. Or you would talk about people that you can't make money off of. You should I'm making a whole shitload of merch. I did candles all day today. Tomorrow's merch. I got all my stuff in. She does stay in her own little corner. So does Molly. Molly don't fuck with people. She don't go back at people. She stays in her own lane. Liza, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that there's not much that you can... I mean, there's certain things that you know is in the complaint, and that's money. Which, if there's money, you know it's defamation. Being that it was filed in QB state, that tells me that that case is definitely on... that case is definitely a defamation case. Could there be other things in it? Yeah, but it was filed in QB state, which tells me it is a defamation case. It has to be. There's money involved. Swendeg, you support that channel. I got a screenshot where you said a while ago that if you were ever going to give money to a channel, it would be that one. Your words. There are constant lies, hate, and misrepresentation of you and others. Absolutely, Amber. Because they make money. That's why. I know he wouldn't. And as long as he's making money, he don't give a shit. But all this bashing on my business? Why are people bashing my business? These people can only vent their hatred on QB panel, and she has nothing better to offer. So yes, everyone on her panel. Without a panel, she has no life. She has no life. I agree with that. I only gave super chat to you and Zav. Well, you said that over there. Someone sent me a screenshot that you said that. If I gave a super chat to anyone, I'd only give it to you, Queen Bee, and this channel. I say bitches in my chat all the time. But Tony's comment is perfect. It's dead on. They believe they're above it all, but they are the nexus of it. None of them are above it all. They don't even show their face. I told you, I have zero respect for people that want to run their mouth about people and don't even show their face. I was like $1 because single mom life. Swendag, I'm just telling you what you said, what you wrote. You're the one that wrote it. Is Twitch pay on the 5th? I don't know when they pay. I know they pay once a month. I don't call QB. I did that something. Jeanette, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I didn't look that hard in. I just saw Dolly's the one that always says it. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys, folks. I can't even believe I'm still awake. And I'm wide awake. I don't know why. So Sage got her dorm room today. And it's exciting. She got her own bedroom with 4 housemates, with a shared bathroom and a shared kitchen. She's like, I'm going to miss the dogs. I said, so you come home and visit them. I said, don't worry, I'm already replanning your room. If I go to QB's and comment, she just says things like, sorry you feel that way, no fight. Who? I won't miss her. I'm already got both their rooms set up for where I'm putting all my stuff. One's going to be a storage for crafting, and the other one is going to be my t-shirts and mugs and that whole side of the business. Oh, I agree with you, Swendag. But yeah, she brought up a good point, though, Sage did. That Phoenix, he's going to be far away. He's going to miss the dogs. He's Buka's buddy. And not coming home to a dog every day is going to be wild. When they return for holidays, they'll still have a bed. I'm not removing their beds. I'm just kind of, putting all their shit against the wall and making room. No. Like Phoenix's 3D printer, I don't know if he's bringing that or not. He may want to take it. But yeah, her room sounds really nice. She's getting excited too, which is good. She's like, I got my own bedroom. I said, that's nice. It's usually not done for freshmen. They need a robot dog? I know. He's going to miss Buka. What's going to be really hard is Buka's getting old. I don't know if Buka's going to live till they graduate. And that's going to be hard for them. I mean, he's 10 now, but he's a big dog. And they say that big dogs don't usually last, 15 years. So we'll see. Yeah, just me and Dayton. Yeah, but Sage isn't far. Why am I so bad? It's true, though. My Christian kid, my religious kid. No, Tony, Dayton eats for 5. Trust me. I would rather have Phoenix and Sage home than Dayton. Dayton eats enough more than both of them. Like, no joke. I bought a 12-pack of soda yesterday of Diet Coke, Diet Strawberry. 6 of them are gone. I said, Dayton, if you drink another one, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, little dogs last a long time. Big dogs don't. Dogs over 100 pounds usually only live to like 11 or 12. I mean, he's in great shape. Don't get me wrong, but I'm from kids who expect to either go to college or get a job and get out at the age of 18. Yes, no. I don't mind. Like me and Sage were talking about that. She was talking about she wants to look for an apartment. I said, Sage, stay at home as long as possible. You don't want to move out. You want to stay at home as long as possible. You don't have bills. You don't have rent. You save money. I said, most kids go home after college. Phoenix probably won't. But most kids go home after college. At least ones I knew. And then they get their shit together and then they move out. It's like a, pattern. Yeah, you still work at Big Dogs over 11, but I'm saying I don't anticipate Buka living till they graduate college, is what I mean. Like Winston will, but Buka I don't know, but he's in perfect health, but he's getting old. Someone I thought I finally had my freedom, but in reality I miss just hanging out with him and laughing. Who am I flip-flopping with? That's wrong, Catherine. That is 100% wrong because I never flip-flopped, ever. I don't like Betty. I never said I liked Betty. I fucking hate Betty, as a matter of fact. I never stood against hogs. I think that the whole movement was absolute bullshit. Catherine, you couldn't be more wrong if you fucking tried. Like, literally. You literally could not be more wrong if you tried. I have never flip-flopped anybody. Ever. So I don't know where the fuck you got that from, but you obviously don't watch me. And I told QB, as a matter of fact, that what they're doing is wrong. So no, you got the wrong person. Exactly, sweet one. Another person who has listened to a lot of clips out of context. Damn right. Because one thing I'm not is a flip-flopper. Try again. Exactly, sweetie pie. People act like all of a sudden I'm defending Betty. I fucking hate Betty. And I'm the first to admit it. I hate Betty. I don't like Betty. But what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that's what people don't seem to grasp. Hey, Bridget. Yeah, definitely not a flip-flopper. Because that's how they think. That's how they are in their mind. They think that I run with whoever I'm not mad at. No, I'm consistent. I'm probably the most consistent fucking person on YouTube in this community. Flip-flop? Definitely not. But sticking up for what's right doesn't make you a flip-flopper. Exactly. You don't have to like someone to stand for what's right. Amen. Yeah, the bigger the dog, the shorter lifespan. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't have to like the person. And I said that going into, I said, I don't fucking like Betty or QB. I think they're both ridiculous. But what's right is right. And I hope Betty does stop them. Yeah, but Swendig, I don't flip-flop at all. I stand pretty strong in my convictions. And that won't change. I find out where my son is. That's a first. What's a first? We don't. Oh. Bridget in the house. I think I'm doing a live with Tiffany tomorrow night or tonight, whatever. She asked me yesterday. Hey, Kaz, when am I going to see? What's see? When am I going to sleep? Shortly. I stay in the same circle. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't hate Bond either. Yeah, they accept anyone who dislikes Laura, Molly, Betty, or Dolly. Doesn't matter their behavior. Exactly right. Laura's going to be rich one day. Dayton's going to be a preacher. Yeah, Dayton's going to be like Tyler. You know, Swendig, I forgot about it. I did. I forgot about it. I will. I totally forgot about it. Because I was joking around with Sage today. And I was like, she said something about Father's Day. I said, I'm your dad. She's like, do I have to call him tomorrow? I totally forgot about Dayton. This court case, hey, boo-boo. This court case may actually help everyone in the true crime community against harassment and bullying. I hope so. Yeah, I didn't even think about it, to be honest. What a bad mom. I never even thought about it. Tyler not making moolah like some. Preachers? I don't know. Last year wasn't so bad. And last year was right after. His thing is, he doesn't like to talk about it. And I said, well, it's not good to keep things inside. And he said, no, Mom, but I'm over it. I said, what do you mean? He's like, I'm over it. I've accepted it and I've moved on. Okay. So I think he's a lot stronger than I thought he would be. But he seems to be over it. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but he does. He said that he's accepted it and he's okay with it. Okay. No, I definitely don't flip-flop. Lawsuit, Betty Bullhorn, Butthead Betty is suing Weak B and Heels in the Air. But she's going to have to file a separate lawsuit for Heels in the Air. I don't know. He just says he's over it. He's like, there's nothing I could do to change it. Nothing will bring him back. So it is what it is. I'm like, okay. They have you, they have to get strength from. I agree. Hold on. I'm driving back now. Okay. It'll be, yeah, it's also against heels in the air, but she can't directly sue heels in the air. I know, right? Sweet one. She can't directly sue heels in the air through this lawsuit, but she can use heels in the air as kind of like a reference kind of thing, like as part of it, but she can't really get anything. Laura's a horrible mom. She pays her kids' bills, buys their food, forces them to eat vegetables, makes them wear new clothes. They have no sense of poverty at all. I know, right? How will they function without her? It's true. Do you know, when I was watching Black Mirror last night, how many of you guys are like my age? Tell me when you go to a shoe store and they used to, put them on your feet. When did they stop doing that? They stopped long before COVID, right? 2.9 thousand, Zebedee. But I was trying to think like when they actually stopped doing that, because I remember that. I remember them doing that with my children. I just can't remember when they actually stopped going to a shoe store and putting the shoes on your feet. They stopped that like 10 years ago, right? Yeah, it's I was looking at that earlier. 2.9 thousand for her. And, oh no, I'm sorry. Maybe I said that wrong. Bear with me. Hold on. Long before COVID, late 80s, early 90s. Was it that long ago? I could have sworn they did it for my kids. They stopped doing that when people started getting foot fungus and crotch rot. True. They had a metal thing to measure the shoe size. Exactly. Does anyone remember when they stopped doing it, though? I could have sworn my kids, Dayton, had done it. Because they were showing that in Black Mirror. I was like, oh my God, I so remember that. You used to sit down and they used to actually put your shoe on for you. And then you'd stand up and check your toe. No, I think it's more than 6 years. I remember them putting on. Oh yeah, they used to put them on your feet. They used to measure your foot. When did shoe stores stop putting shoes on your feet? Ah. They're talking about 40s and 50s. But I know I had it. They had x-rays in shoe stores. In the 50s and 30s through the 50s, they had an x-ray machine in the foot store. You have to go to high-end shops to get full service. Why, they still do it in high-end shops? So the Brannick device, he died in 1993. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the metal thing. Standard foot measure tool for the world's footwear industry. It's called the Brannick device. That's that metal thing. It doesn't say. Yeah, you wanted to make sure you had socks on. But remember that, though? You walk into a shoe store and you sit down. You say, I need this size, and then they come out and they put it on your feet. I remember Buster Brown. I don't know. I can't find the answer, though. When did shoe Oh. Yeah, I can't find the answer. They still do it at Bloomingdale? Do they really? How to start a shoe business with no money. Yeah, I can't find the answer. Shoe stores. Yeah, I can't find the answer. Oh well. I was just curious because I really don't remember when they stopped doing it. But I could have sworn they tried on the kids' shoes. Because I remember telling Phoenix or Sage, sit down. And then they put them on their feet. You saw first episode of the new season? I thought there was 6 episodes. There's only 5. Some of them are pretty good. One of them I didn't care for. But if you haven't watched the other 5 seasons, oh, they were great. No, Tony, you used to go to the mall. And now they just hand you the shoes. But they used to have you sit down and then you put them on. How many of you 8 F1 fans? What's F1? Yeah, I don't think we have Payless anymore either. I haven't seen one in a long time. Black Mirror, you never got into it? Some of them are good. Try the new season. They're actually, you know what? Come to think of it. There's a Black Mirror that I think I'm going to get off and go watch it. There's a Black Mirror. Let me see what it's called. Hold on. I have never seen this before in my entire life. It's Black Mirror. Hold on. No, not that. Here it is. Black Mirror Bandersnatch. It's interactive. I've never seen a Netflix show be interactive, but it is. You pick the choices of how the movie's going to go. I don't think you can watch it on, well, I guess you can watch it on your computer. But it's from a couple of years ago. It's from 2018. I never saw it before, though. But I was like, wow, am I really picking choices? So I tried it. And yeah, you're picking choices. I was like, wow, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's called Black Mirror Bandersnatch. Yeah, Bandersnatch. Because of the Pig Shagger storyline episode 1, but it was such a great episode because that could happen so easily. You use your remote. Yeah, if you do it on your cell phone, you just pick it. But I was like, oh my God, I actually make the choice. I was like, this is pretty cool. I didn't think it was actually real, but it is. So I was going to watch it. And I still got to make whipped cream for some of these candles. Wait till you guys see them. They're awesome. So I'm going to get off now so I can finish this, charge my phone because dummy me never charged it while I was live. But I will see you beautiful people tomorrow. For all the guys, happy Father's Day if you're a dad, or a happy Father's Day to your dad, or your husbands, or your brothers, boyfriends, whoever. Happy Daddy's Day. Yeah, you choose your adventure. But I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, I never saw Netflix have a show like that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it's not too hot tomorrow. I got to put this fucking pool liner on. So, no, I had mods. Tinker's a mod. Jen was in here before. I've had mods. So, I think Tiffany is going to be with me tomorrow night. I don't know what we're going to discuss, but she asked me last night. So, me and Tiffany Marie tomorrow night. I will see you guys, beautiful people, tomorrow. Again, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to moms that play both roles like I do. And I will see you all later. Bye. And most importantly, happy Daddy's Day to the stepdads of the world. Can't forget stepdads. All right? I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. And Rose, feel better, hon.